After the announcement of ceasefire between Iran and Israel, Israel is now coming back to normalcy with a lot of restoration work. To talk about the kind of work that is going on in Israel and how Israel is dealing with the whole situation, I have with me the member of the Parliament of Israel, MK Shelley Talmiron. Shelley, a very warm welcome on India Today, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So my very first question is that how do you perceive the ceasefire? What is your assessment? It is going to be there for some time, or something else can happen?
Well, we're hoping the ceasefire will last, of course. I think that the government of Israel and the state of Israel has achieved the goals that we set ahead of time. Our two main goals, was to destroy the nuclear weapons of Iran and, of course, to destroy the ballistic missiles plan that were threatening Israel. This was an existential threat, but not only to Israel, but to the entire world as well. So I think that from that point of view, we reached our goals. We had the Trump administration and President Trump join in and help us with destroying the nuclear weapon in Fordo, and we're very thankful to their administration. I think it was a brave and the right thing to do. And so we had a 12-day war. It was very difficult. We had almost 30 Israelis killed from the missiles. Right behind me, you can see one of the hits of the missiles that took place. I live right next by. This is my neighborhood.
Yes, even I was here to cover this impact. I can see that this building is totally damaged.
Right. And this is an elderly people home. So it was very, very traumatic. And, I have two daughters, and we would run to the shelter a few times a day and a few times at night. But I think the Israeli people are very resilient and strong people. And because this war was justified, we felt that we had to support the state of Israel with this war. And, I'm a member of the opposition. But I think when it comes to Iran, opposition and coalition were united as one against this existential threat to the state of Israel.
Shelley, one question. As Israel is saying that it has achieved the goals, but there are a lot of claims that are coming in from Iran. They say that we had already moved that enrichment from that Fordo plant, and we have not lost anything. Anything you would like to say on that?
Well, I think that when it comes to the declarations that Iran is putting out there, don't forget that we are a democratic country. We abide by international law. Everything is in an orderly fashion when it comes to the state of Israel. Iran has a fanatic regime. I think that they are trying to portray some sort of a victory picture to their people. And they have lied time and time again to their people and to the world. I just want to remind you that the agreement that was made by President Obama was supposed to prevent them from having nuclear weapons for military, purposes. And they were saying that they're not going to do that, but they did. And they keep lying to the public. So I think that we should question the declarations that are coming through Iran. I think that everything that Israel says, we support with footage, with videos, with all the information that is needed. And therefore, I don't think we can compare this regime to the only democratic state in the Middle East.
Shelley, I see a lot of restoration work going on here.
Yes.
We also saw the health workers, the volunteers, and still the work goes on. So what do you think, how much more time it will take Israel to get back to normal completely, with all those people who've lost their homes to get back to their homes? How is the government working on that?
Well, first of all, we have around 12,000 people that were evicted from their homes from all these missiles attacks. We had hundreds and hundreds of missiles that were targeting Israel. Right behind us is a coffee shop that was hit.
I would like to show this coffee shop here.
If you can look at the coffee shop, you see people sitting at the coffee shop. So we know how to recuperate very fast. Nevertheless, we have to know that there are a lot of buildings, apartment buildings, that were completely destroyed. So it's going to take years to rebuild them. But we're a very resilient people, and we know that this cause was very just, and that we had to take action against Iran so that we're safe. So we were willing as civilians to pay the price for that. But right now, the government has to, get themselves together and work very fast to help the civilians around Israel get back on their feet, go back to work, go back to school, and have a normal life. So it's a process. It's going to take time. And myself, as a parliament member, I'm going to help in whatever way that I can to have our civilians go back to normal life. But we have to say the most important thing is to make sure that this threat would never be a threat again to the state of Israel. I think that, there are talks about an agreement that President Trump is trying to bring. That's all good and well, but we have to make sure within this agreement that Iran is never a nuclear state, that they don't rebuild their missile plan, their ballistic missile plan, and that Israel, but the entire world, is safe. So that is our goal, and we're going to be very cautious, and we're going to follow and see what Iran does, because we cannot afford having our civilians threatened again.
Shelley, after October 7, 2023, there were certain criticisms within the country on how the situation was handled, and still there are people of Israel who are hostages. What do you have to say about this?
Today is the 628th day of this war, and we still have 50 hostages in Gaza, our brothers and sisters. Only one woman remained in Gaza as a hostage. She's unfortunately not living, but we have to bring her to her family to be buried. Her name is Inbar Heyman. But all 50 hostages, among them we believe 20 are alive, have to come back home immediately. So that's our main goal. I think that now is the right time to move forward to ending the war in Gaza and bringing the hostages back home. I think that the Israeli people have gone through a lot during this almost 2 years. And I think that, yes, we have differences of opinions with this government. I'm an opposition member. There is no question about that. My role as an opposition member is to overthrow this government. But right now, we're all united and focused on this cause, which is Iran. When it comes to other fronts and the political issues within Israel, we will hash it out and we will discuss this internally once things will stabilize with Iran. Right now, we're all united against that front. And we are calling Prime Minister Netanyahu to end the war in Gaza, to bring back the hostages who are waiting to come back home. And we're asking President Trump to stay involved, to get involved in ending the war in Gaza and bringing the hostages. He's done it before. We trust him that he can do it again.
Shelley, my last question is that what do you have to say about the whole role that India has been playing as a diplomatic member or a diplomatic friend with Israel?
Well, first of all, I love India. I used to work in the high-tech industry in India. I visited India many times, and I'm so appreciative of the people, of the culture, and your government as well. We're very, very thankful and appreciative for the support that we have gotten from India since October 7th, 2023. We felt very alone from many, many countries around the world, but India was right there supporting us, and we appreciate it very much, and we're hoping that this support would last, as of course we support India with their challenges, and I'm hoping that we will cooperate again and more in the future. And I just want to say thank you to the Indian people and to the administration for everything. We were thinking that before the ceasefire, when they were discussing the ceasefire, we thought that the head of my party, Yair Lapid, which was the former prime minister, said that your foreign affairs minister should have been the moderator to reach the ceasefire agreement. So that means we're very, very thankful, and we trust you completely to do the right thing.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, and we wish that Israel recovers well and soon, and peace prevails.
Thank you so much, and we're hoping for peace very, very soon. Thank you.
So the diplomats here, the leaders here, they all are wishing that very soon peace will come to Israel and Israel will recover very fast. All those people who need help from the government are being assisted and supported, and even the opposition is standing tall right now with the government to help the people across Israel. This is Shivani Sharma for India Today from Tel Aviv.